Alright, so I've been thinking about this for a long time and I just couldn't get out of my head for a while, so I just want to address this now. So, whenever I went to go see Kung Fu Panda 4, aka Kung Fu Panda Mid, there was a whole bunch of trailers and for all the movies coming up. And when I'm looking at those trailers, I thought to myself, damn, is there like no originality going on anymore? Now, I know I'm talking about like Hollywood as a whole, but I want to be like specific here with animation because this year alone, and I mean this year alone, we had Kung Fu Panda 4, we are having Inside Out 2, Moana 2, and then we also have the Garfield movie coming out. And I don't know about you, but like all the major studios are only putting out sequels and like franchises that we know and love. And don't forget, we also have the Transformers 1 coming out later.
Cause I'm coming for you.
He did what?
Like, the only original film that we have is The Wild Robot, which I am hyped for. Like, that actually looks like an interesting concept. But it's just looking so bad right now in the animation world. And the problem is like with last year with 2023, I think it kind of showed companies like it's very telling that audiences really just like seeing the sequels to their favorite animated movies. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm in that same boat. Like when I go see animated films now, I really only go just to see like my returning franchises. Like I went to go see Kung Fu Panda 4 in theaters, I saw Across the Spider-Verse in theaters, I saw Cars 3 in theaters, Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, and so on and so forth. You get the picture.
Trash?
No, toys. They're all toys.
Trash.
And that's also the problem that companies see, because I was looking back at the numbers on 2023 with like money, box office, and all that stuff, and it's really bad if you look at it. Because I want you to take this. So last year we had Ruby Gilman, which came out like right after The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots 2, which were financial successes. That was by far the lowest grossing DreamWorks film of all time. It had the worst opening, like the worst box office. Nobody went to go see it. Hell, I'd be surprised if you even remember that was a movie. And then the same year we had Trolls Band Together. Now, obviously, it's fucking Trolls. Nobody cares about Trolls, but it did do somewhat financially okay there. Now, when I'm talking about numbers financially, I know that doesn't describe how good a movie is, but it does kind of tell what audiences want. Everybody talks about how they want like original movies nowadays, but the thing is, for as much as they say it, all the big movies that make a whole lot of money are based off of stuff that they already know. Because the thing about people is that they like the comfortable, the familiar, what they know and love. Which is why movies like Barbie and Guardians of the Galaxy and all those other, big temple films that, are like the summer blockbusters make a lot of money. And yeah, sure, you could say that they're original because they never had a Barbie movie or Oppenheimer movie, but there's still stuff that people are consciously aware of that they know of, you know what I mean?
For every person who dreams up the electric light bulb, there's the one who dreams up the atom bomb.
And along with that, a better example is Migration. So whenever in December we had, Illumination's like Bird movie, which was okay, yeah, sure. But think about this. In between Migration, we have the Mario movie and the upcoming Despicable Me 4. Mario movie broke a bill. Like a straight $1 billion, and Despicable Me 4, even if it doesn't make $1 billion, will definitely make a lot of cheddar cheese. Now look at that in between film Migration. Yeah, it did okay, but it wasn't the financial success that was that movie. And don't even get me started with Disney's Wish. Like, do I even need to bring up the failure that was Wish? Now, yeah, sure, like, right out the gate, even before the movie came out, people hated on it. And, yeah, the movie is very mid, but it could have been a whole lot worse. Well, not worse as in, like, like a good movie, but, like, financially. Because, originally, this movie was supposed to be 2D. Now, I already discussed this in my Home in the Range video, about how 2D animation was basically phased out by CGI animation. But I feel like if they really took a chance, they really could have done something. And you notice how I'm not mentioning Elemental, because that actually did okay. That actually did well. Although it came out around the same time as Across the Spider-Verse, so people obviously compare it to that, but, what are you gonna do? Now, overall, what I'm trying to say is with animation is that it's not looking good because while yes, we are getting great films, because films like Across the Spider-Verse, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and all these other movies are really great. Even, ones that I don't consider like good movies like the Mario movie, I still love because I know that character, I grew up with that series. But it also comes the problem of like the fact that there's no originality means that generations and other kids growing up nowadays can't like latch onto their own characters. Because whenever I was growing up, I remember even though I would see some really bad films, like I saw Cruise in theaters, I saw Brave in theaters, which isn't that bad of a movie, but it's still mid. At least I can know that I grew up with those characters, those original IPs. Like, what are kids gonna, talk about now growing up? Like, yeah, I saw Kung Fu Panda. Oh, you mean the first one? No, I saw the fourth movie. Yeah, like...
Him? That's a joke. You're a joke. What are you gonna do, big guy? Cast Aquafina? Don't tempt me.
Because the thing is, I feel like kids should have their own franchises and characters growing up. It's not like Toy Story to where I feel like, I could sort of understand why they bring them back every 10 years or whatever, because I saw Toy Story 3 in 2010. I was maybe 6 or 5 at the time, but I rewatched all those movies back in the day because I remember watching Shea Frillis's video on Megamind 2 talking about how Megamind is out of the public eye in kids' minds, and he does have a point because you could obviously rewatch, those movies on DVD or streaming or just whenever it's on TV. There's still a sense of having your own thing growing up in theaters, because while people might say that cinema is dying or whatever, that really can shape of how you see your own perception of film and TV. And if all you see is just remakes and remasters and sequels to other people's childhoods, it kind of lessens that to an extent. It's just like The Flash whenever you see Batman there, because yeah, it's cool to see Batman from the 89 movies, but that's not your Batman, that's someone else's Batman. That's something a board meeting cooked up because they knew that older people would like it. That's the kind of reason why they kind of, just trashed Ben Affleck, because they thought that he wasn't selling well. And it gets even worse with the upcoming future of all this, because later on we have so many projects, specifically by Disney, that are just where's the originality in any of this? Because we have an upcoming Cars project coming out. Now, we're not sure if this is going to be a fourth movie or a second season of Cars on the Road, but neither here nor there. We still have a Cars project. Then we also have Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 coming out, and I'm like, why do we need this? And then there's the icing on the cake. We have Toy Story 5, and I'm like, you were already pushing it at 4. Now 5 is kind of ridiculous. I'll watch it, but that's ridiculous. And then we have Zootopia 2. I'm actually excited for Zootopia 2. It's the same boat as me for Moana 2, to where, you had me on the first movie, so I'll trust you now. But, why? Why not we just make original films, you know what I mean? Because, I know we have original films coming up. We have, that ELO film or whatever that was, pushed back by, how many years. So, who knows whenever that's coming out. And then we have, the Wild Robot. Like I said, that's coming out. But overall, it just seems like there's no originality in Hollywood. And I'm pretty sad about that, because like I said before, growing up, I would see so many new films and franchises come out. And yeah, sure, they weren't all good, but at least I could look back fondly and go yeah, I remember, I watched that growing up. Instead of going oh yeah, that's that, the one sequel to that one movie. It's, it just doesn't feel the same, honestly. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking to the wall, but I really do miss originality in animation. And why the hell are we on the 4th Despicable Me movie? It started out in 2010. Technically, this is the 6th movie, counting the Minion movies. And why? Why on God Almighty is Chris Pratt Garfield? Why? Why did... Nah, you know what? I'm just yapping at this point. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And remember, I'm Blacked Out Reviews. I reviewed it or talked about it, so you don't have to. Alright, that's it.